Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I'm going to customize another car with suspension. It is going to be both functional and nice looking. For the most part you can find two kinds of cars that you can customize. One, the green one at the left, is with narrow axles. You can see that the wheels are not in line with the body. And the right one here, you have the wheels in line with the body. Well, with this kind of car, you're gonna have to make some real adjustments and tweaks in order to get the highest amount of wheel travel, since the fender and the wheels have a very tiny gap between them. Now, if you look carefully, you could see that with this car, I've used different wheels with shorter axles, and the tire is not in line with the lip of this fender anymore. Now let's have a look and measure the width of each one of the axles. You can see here the axle is shorter. So you might think or say that this type of car is the hardest one to customize with suspension, and it is true for the most part, but we have another type of cars, and it is this pickup truck. And the reason I'm showing you this nice pickup truck is because of this location here of this post. I had to bypass this screw here by drilling a hole right in the middle of this spring part that I'm using. As you know, it is part of a measuring tape. So basically there are three types of cars that you can customize. The hardest ones are the ones with the wheels in line with the body. The second type, which is also hard, is the ones with the post at the middle. And the third type is like this green one, which is the easiest type to customize. Oh, and one more thing. You have to cut this part here because it will prevent the car from traveling through its entire wheel travel. You see here, I've removed it. Originally, this part was made in order to prevent the axles from bending in case that someone presses on the car. But here you don't want to have this part anymore because you want to get the highest amount of travel from your wheels. So if you want my advice, get yourself another car and not this Nissan if it is the first time for you to customize a car. Get yourself this Nova here. The fenders are a little bit bigger and higher, and you have more space to use if you wish to get yourself the highest amount of wheel travel. One final fact about cars with suspension, if they are done correctly, is that they are running smoother and with less noise. So now let's get started with the car of today, and it is this Datsun Bluebird. A very popular casting. However, with this nice car we have two major problems. One is that the wheels are in line with the fenders, and we're going to have to change that. And here we have this post that will interrupt us with the suspension part, and I will show you how to bypass this problem. By the way, the first generation of this casting had only one post. Here are the parts after I've disassembled everything. I will start by modifying the base and the body, and I'm going to use plastic wheels I've taken from a Matchbox donor car. Obviously, this set of wheels has shorter axles, therefore I can't fit them to this base, and I'm going to have to modify them in order to make them fit. Now let's have a look at the difference of these wheels. You can see here at the right we have the original wheels. They have a longer axle, and the tire is in line with the fender. Now the trick in order to fit this pair of wheels is to cut this plastic part here. Be careful not to cut your fingers at this process. You have to press very hard on the blade in order to cut this part. Now I'm going to remove the tabs that used to hold the wheels in place. I don't need them anymore, and in fact they're going to be interrupting our suspension part as well. And now we can see that the wheels are in place and the car is ready to receive its suspension part. And now let's install this suspension part. I have to cut it to the right length, and then I will have to trim it a little bit more in order to make it fit. It is very important to eliminate this locking feature of this part by bending this piece right at the middle. You can see here you have this locking feature. You don't want to have this on your car. It will prevent the car from acting right. The next step is to cut a little bit from this part. I don't need it to be too wide, and I will round the edges of this part as well after removing the paint from this piece. The next step is to punch a hole right in the middle of this suspension part. I will first mark where I need to punch the hole, then I will make it larger by using my Dremel. Just remember to drill a larger hole than the actual diameter of the post, so it will not rub against the post when it moves. The next step is to clear a path for the axle to move in this plastic part. Now let's assemble this car together. You can use a toothpick in order to line the holes. So far I'm very pleased with this result, but I have to disassemble this car again in order to repaint this body. If you wish to create a stiffer suspension for your car, all you have to do is to take out this part and bend it a little bit just to load it with different tension. And here is the car with the suspension fitted. Right before repainting this body, I'm just checking to see how this car acts. The final step will be repainting this car's body, and I think I will go with something very simple, since this car is going to be used for racing and playing. Okay, so now let's head on to my garage and see the car with its new white paint scheme. Sometimes white is just right. If you don't know, the painting part is very hard and I need to be very accurate with my brush because there are tiny parts that I need to paint, like headlights and taillights. So most of the time I don't show them on my channel because they are time consuming. However, today's video is going to be longer than usual, since I've decided to add a little bonus for you guys with some nice footage of the testings that I've made with cars that has suspension versus regular cars. By far the best car that I have is this one. Look how smooth it rides. And here you can see the difference between these two cars. This red Nova has quite a bit of suspension travel, while this Datsun has a shorter travel at its wheels. And now we have another VW bug here that flipped over because it lost its stability, because I guess it jumped too high. And here is this black one with suspension. The worst one of today's video is this one. It is some kind of muscle car. Here's this Nova again. Now we are back at my garage, and I think that this car turned out to be very nice, although it has this simple paint scheme. I really hope this video was helpful for you guys, since I've tried to cover all sorts of problems that you may encounter while you're trying to customize your car with suspension. But if you have any more questions about this process, you can ask me down below in the comments and I will try to help you. Thanks for watching. Bye bye.